Hey freaks, it's JJ. Welcome to my channel where I talk about rock and metal music. Today I'm going to be talking about battle vests and 10 rules for creating and wearing your battle vest. So before we get started with this video, make sure you hit subscribe to this channel to get notified when I put out other content such as this. And thank you so much to all my subscribers so far. You freaks fucking rock. Rule number 1, decide what kind of vest you want to have. And I don't just mean like, do you want it to be denim or leather? Do you want it to have no sleeves or sleeves? What I mean is like, do you want to have a theme with your vest? Do you want it to be all black metal bands, all punk bands? Do you want a classic rock vest? Do you want to have a color scheme? Or maybe you want to have it as like only bands that you've seen live. Or maybe none of the above. Maybe you just want like a hodgepodge of all the bands that you enjoy. So, this is my first battle vest, and this is just a whole mashup of bands that I enjoy. No necessarily like theme on here, just bands that I like. Now this is my second vest. It's still in the process of being finished, but I reserved this one only for bands that I have seen live. And then my third vest is the one that I'm wearing. This one's just kind of like my work in progress vest. It's just kind of like the one I put all my extra patches on. So rule number 2, in order for it to be a proper battle vest, you have to have band patches. So I've seen a bunch of like Forever 21 bullshit with a bunch of like meaningless butterfly and skull tattoos just slapped over a denim jacket. And that's not a battle vest. That's not a battle jacket. That's just like a jacket with patches, a patch jacket. I don't know. In other words, no one is wearing these into battle, i.e. the mosh pit. So this goes hand in hand with rule number 3, and that is, do all of the patches on your battle vest have to be band patches? In my opinion, no. I personally like to have at least like 1 to 3 like patches on there that actually aren't bands. It's maybe just something that I enjoy, a cool memory, or something that I like. And some elitists might kind of turn their nose up at this and call me a poser, but whatever. I mean, it's your jacket, you put whatever you want on it. Just as long as a decent majority of all the patches on it are from bands, I think you can call it a battle vest. Rule number 4, put your favorite band on the back. If you have multiple favorite bands, it might require multiple vests, as you can see. And I mean, it doesn't have to be like your end-all be-all favorite band of all time ever. If you're like me, your favorite band is kind of like a constantly shifting and moving, depending on my mood and depending on whatever I'm really into listening to that week. And so just pick a band that you really appreciate and respect. So on this one I have Tool, and on this one I have Coheed and Cambria, of course. Also, if you're in a band, why not put your own band on the back of your battle vest? Some people might think that's tacky, but I think it just shows pride in your band. I mean, I'm obviously not in a band because I'm not a musician, but if I was, I would be rocking that on the back of my battle vest. I personally think it's a great conversation starter, it shows, and it's a good way to self-advertise. Rule number 5, disregard rule number 4. If you don't want to have a back patch, then don't have one. It's not a rule that you must have a back patch on a battle vest. It's just what's more commonly done. But as a metalhead, you probably are already used to going against the grain, and let's be honest, we're just all a bunch of rebels here. Rule number 6, decide how you're going to treat your vest. Are you going to be nice to it? As in, like, are you going to make sure you don't spill beer on it or get it all drenched in other people's sweat? This black vest is what I call my like nice like wearing out vest. Pretty much I just try and keep it clean and keep it from smelling gross. And I only wear that one to concerts if it's going to be like a stadium show where I'm going to be confined to a numbered seat. Now on the other hand, I have this one, which is what I call like my festival vest. So for my festival vest, I'll wear it obviously to festivals and to any shows where I know I'm probably going to be in a pit or be amongst a whole bunch of jostling, smelly crowd of you freaks. This one actually has quite a few like homemade, home printed patches on it. If you guys want to learn how to make your own band patches at home, I did a video on it. You guys can check it out up here somewhere or at the end of this video. And I know a lot of you have been asking how my self-printed patches have been holding up, and I can say they've been holding up really well, but I don't think that's quite the most adequate representation of the wear and tear because I haven't been to a show in over a year because of the goddamn coronavirus. So like many of you, I didn't really leave the house a whole lot during 2020. So these patches haven't really seen very much of the outside world. So I haven't really been able to gauge how well the patches have held up, but I will keep you guys posted after I go to a couple festivals this year. Moving on to rule number 7, make it your own. If you want to add buttons or chains, do it. If you want to like cover it in studs and spikes, I say go for it. Get as creative as you want. You know, it's not supposed to look like anyone else's. Make it your own. It's going to be unique to you, and I've seen some really awesome and like amazingly creative vests out there. Rule number 8, do you have to sew the patches on yourself? Now, if you're going to be going to shows with your vest on, I would definitely suggest sewing them on as opposed to just ironing them on, because they're probably going to fall off if you don't sew them on. But that aside, is it a requirement for you to sew the patches on yourself? In my opinion, no. So yes, I can see the argument for sewing the patches on yourself. I mean, like, you know, there is something to say for putting your own hard work and oftentimes blood into your own vest, and I personally very much enjoy sewing the patches on myself. But I don't think you have to do it yourself. I think if you have like a friend or a significant other who really wants to do this thing for you, wants to sew for you, I say let them. I think that's great. A lot of people, and I'm looking at you boys, don't know how to sew, even though you should probably learn how to do that at some point because it's kind of an important life skill. So your shitty attempts at sewing are not a requirement for having a battle vest. I mean, if you're really, really poor at it, they might just end up falling off, and no one wants that. I actually saw this kid at a show once, and man, his patches were just hanging on by a thread. I felt bad. Poor guy did not know how to sew. He probably should have just had someone do it for him. Rule number 9, can you wash your battle vest? So the whole idea of not washing your battle vest is 1 part logic, 1 part superstition, and 1 part poor hygiene. The argument for not washing your vest is that it will ruin the patches, and that's probably true if you were to just throw it in the washing machine on heavy duty or something. But like that logic kind of fails when you introduce hand washing. I mean, if you just rinse it off with a little bit of soap and water and let it air dry, it's not going to hurt the patches at all, and it will take away a lot of the like body odor stench from it. Now the superstition part, people say that it's bad luck to wash your vest, and which I can kind of understand that. You know, all the spilled beer and the mud and the sweat and the fake or real blood, those are memories, you know? That's your suit of armor that you wear when you go to war in the pit. It's like a badge of honor, and you should wear it proudly and revel in the stench of it. But then you think about like that one really sweaty shirtless dude that you like banged up against in the pit a couple times, and then you multiply that by like the thousands of others over like a 4-day festival, and you realize that that is fucking disgusting. So after keeping this guy in a separate closet and spraying it down with Febreze, I finally broke down and washed it. And I have no regrets. At least not yet. It smells so much better, I don't have to keep it in a separate closet, and it's just, I don't know, it's not going to harm the patches to just hand wash it. And so, yeah, unless something like awful happens to me this next year, I'll keep you guys posted, but I don't think any bad luck is going to befall me. Rule number 10. So now, if you've gotten this far in the video, I think you kind of get the point. There's not really any hard and fast rules with battle vests, contrary to what some others might believe. I think the only one true rule is that you put on patches for bands that you listen to. I've heard some crazy rules like you have to be able to name 4 of that band's album off the top of your head and name each band member. I mean, if you want to have those high of standards, then like go for it, but I don't think you should let others dictate what you should and shouldn't put on your vest. As long as it's a band that you feel passionate about, put it on there. But just make sure it is actually a band that you listen to, because you don't want to be that guy or girl at a show who gets asked about a patch on their vest and then gets that like deer in the headlights look if you don't know what they're talking about. So yeah, I don't think that happens that much, but just you know, make sure that you care about the things that you're representing on your body. Anyway, let me know what kind of rules you put on yourself for your specific battle vests. I'd love to hear from you all, so let me know if you agree or disagree with any of these guidelines. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe to this channel to get notified when I put out other content such as this. If you want to get access to bonus videos, rock operas, and a monthly newsletter of weirdness written by yours truly, then go down to the description and subscribe to my mailing list for my Metalhead community. Anyway, thanks for watching, freaks.